for a launch site, but
Why is that?
there's concerns about wildlife and that sort of thing. And obviously there's also a public beach right next door, so every time they launch, they have to close everything down. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, of course.
Yeah, but why is the perfect location? It's because it's far away from everything and close to the how it's called, this line around the globe that has
The equator.
the equator line. That's because it's a perfect place.
Yeah, I mean, the equator would be the perfect place if you launch. With the rotation of the Earth, you basically get a bit of additional speed if you were to launch at the equator. But obviously, we usually also want to launch above water, because if any part of the launch goes wrong, or if you have an old rocket design where you discard your booster or part of your rocket, you obviously don't want that to come down above a civilian population, unless you're China. China's perfectly willing. No, you've never seen this. China, actually, they launch over land. And so fairly regularly, I think it's not happened as often recently, but there's been videos of boosters falling down on populated villages in the middle of China.
Fuck.
Yep, that's that's quite a thing. Yeah. They launch it over land. Basically, they did it during the Cold War to avoid all the American zones of control that are over the Pacific, right, at their coast. The Soviet Union did the same thing. They obviously launched from Kazakhstan, which is notoriously quite far away from the ocean. But yeah, there's the articles and videos.
All right. So let's accept all of those cookies. Oh, there's a video. There's a video of the whole thing happening.
There's a video. Yep, there it is falling, and I think that's hypergolic fuel as well.
1 second.
In China on June 22nd. Earlier in the day, a Chinese space agency launched a Long March 2C rocket from southwest China. The company hailed the launch a complete success in a statement. In a now deleted government post, authorities said they were going to conduct a rocket debris recovery mission. The notice added that residents were advised to stay outdoors and away from the debris. There have been no reports of injuries. CNN has reached out to the space agency and China State Council Information Office for comment.
Well, it seems that no one got injured, so that's good.
Yeah, but that was basically just luck. Again, I don't remember if it's hypergolic fuel. If they use toxic fuels as well, that'd be just the tipping of the iceberg, basically. But yeah, that's that's not cool if you live in that village. I mean, it's something to talk about. It's a great conversation starter. You know, that one time a rocket booster almost fell on my head.
What? No, come on. For real?
Yeah, I'm just saying that'd be great. That'd be a great conversation starter.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No, it didn't happen. A lot of dumb shit happened to me, Bruno, but so far no rocket booster has fallen on my house.
Yeah, for a second I was like, what? Because during the last episode we talked a lot about your almost death experiences, and I was like,
yeah, bus burning down and everything. A rocket booster, that'd be that's probably the next thing's gonna happen. You know. That one guy in Australia who had Skylab fall down on him.
Skylab?
You know that story? Skylab. You know Skylab?
What is that?
It was basically the American precursor to the ISS, so a small space station. They launched it on a Saturn 4B, if I remember correctly. Basically a small space station. It was manned by, I think, 2 or 3 people. And it was in orbit for a while, and eventually it was left to rot and in space, and because of how low the orbit was, it obviously degraded fairly quickly, and it came down at some point in the 80s, I believe, over Australia.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine
that one.
You have a fucking space station falling to your head. Like, bro.
Yeah, it was a huge panic at the time because no one knew exactly where it would come down. And it turned out to be Australia. No one got injured. It just landed on his farm, basically. Or parts of it. Obviously, the debris field was I think several hundreds of kilometers long.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah. I mean, there's tons of that stuff. There's also the Russian satellite, which had an RTG, I think, a nuclear reactor on board. And that fell down over Canada.
Dude, how'd you know? You're like, track.
Yeah, now's my time to reveal all my space knowledge. It's funny because this time you didn't introduce me as a SpaceX fan. So now we're going to spend the entire episode talking about spaceflight.
I mean, it's interesting. So, going back to SpaceX, though, they are not allowed to launch. They have like a Starship ready for a test, but they're not allowed to launch because the government is worried about the birds, which is understandable. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to launch it pretty soon. So I'm not too worried about that. But how realistic do you think this Elon timeline is? Like in 4 years, we're going to have crewed missions to Mars. How do you think that's actually happening?
No, because I know launch tables, they always slip. It's not as unreasonable as it sounds. Especially, so again, the next thing that's going to happen for Starship, they're going to do another